Giuliano, how do Fincons think about data platforms in general, and that how do you choose technology based on the certain characteristics that's talked about there?
Yes, Patrick, thank you. Yes, also following Des' words and yours, yes, we see many clients in the situation of realizing the need of a new generation of data platforms or modernizing the way they manage data. Our experience is that there is no one single solution that fits all the possible needs, of course. Rather, the solution has to be designed considering, of course, the business requirements and both the actual business requirements and also the future ones. This is more difficult, but we need to do an effort together with the clients to do that. And the second thing is to consider also the client context. No? Each client, we arrive as a different context in terms of competencies, culture, in terms of how did they mature their experience in managing data, the standards that they have, maybe belonging to some international groups, etc. Or also existing licenses, no? Because maybe we are talking about market solutions, and so maybe there are some components that are already there, which is the case to use. The market is proposing tens and tens of possible tools, potentially interesting to be part of the solution. So we believe that the ability of the system integrator, and we try to do that, is to bring in an ability, knowing many of these tools, to design the most appropriate solution, considering all we have said, right? Fincons is working since many years on data platforms, the traditional data platforms, you know, based on data warehouses, data marts, ETL tools, etc. And but there is a new need that is coming, which is as also said, Des was anticipating, brought us to the conclusion that something new is required. The difficulty in the financial services and in the insurance space in particular is that often, or better to say always, the application landscape that the clients has is built over a number of backend systems. So siloed, right, for specific needs, P&C, claims, life, finance, and often there are also further complications due to maybe eventual acquisition that has brought maybe to have more than one system for claims, or so the situation is always complex. This is why a modern data platform has to be put in place. With this in mind, we have monitored, in our experience, two major forces pushing, say, our clients to the research of a new modern data platform. The first force is what is called the data literacy, right? So the ability to read, understand, deriving structured information from data. Okay, the typical clear need is, for example, related to regulatory reporting, where many data coming from different systems has to be put together in a situation where data governance, data quality, the ability to quickly link the data that are appearing in a report, the way these data are related or are coming from which data in the backend systems. This is key aspects, right, in this situation. This is the situation, for example, of General UK. Jana will tell us something, I think, a bit more about this. The second force that we see is very important is coming from what is called the world of now, no? So, namely the real-time topic. And let's talk a bit about this. No? Front-end applications are needing needs to access data quickly, needs data to be updated and to be quickly available, 24/7. And there are many situations where a modern user experience is required, and this furtherly intensify the need for speed in accessing data. Consider, for example, the situation where that is coming from a situation where you have a 360 degrees picture of the client, right? So putting in a single screen information coming from different data sources after identifying a client. Or typical situations can be profiled cockpits or dashboards or anti-fraud systems that they also need this data, or other non-solutions or systems requiring updated data for being effective at the end. Or also consider maybe Google-like search functionalities, right? Also enriching the user experience where people are used to work with this kind of features, which with the traditional integration platform simply cannot be built, right? Because it's too much impacting in terms of capacity of the backend system. Yes, it's possible to implement fast front-end application using modern technologies like Angular, React, etc., shifting the capacity to the client, so reducing the throughput of information with the server, etc. But still, the application is fast, but you need to wait for accessing data at the end. So we concentrated on this, and we realized that a modern data platform can be the answer for this topic. Right. So we worked around this topic with one word in mind: flexibility. Why? Because, as I said, every client has a different situation, every business has different needs, so we have to be flexible in many directions, in terms of data model, in terms of eventual components included in the solution. We have to be flexible in terms of using the solutions on-premise or in cloud, and many other situations, right? So we arrived to what we call the Fincons Fast Data Lake, which is a solution. It is a combination of market components, accurately selected and completed by some, of course, custom developments. And this solution is basically a high-performance data store, right, with a near real-time data feeding procedure, highly engineered with no impact or very, very low impact on the backend system. So, and this is very important. The ingestion procedure is working by event. So we capture what is happening in the backend database, and we intercept these events of data modification or data structure modification, and we promote these events into the data lake with the ability of adding logic, logic for calculating fields or for normalizing, denormalizing, or at the end creating, I would say, data structures that are optimized for any specific needs. And then on top of this, we, with a set of APIs, we can provide quickly data to the front end. Quickly, when I mean quickly, I saw a situation where there were one level of magnitude, okay, in this. So really a huge difference from maybe 15, 20 seconds to less than one, right? So for complex situation like the 360 degrees picture of the client, with the ability of adding Google-like search functionalities and what I said previously.
Yeah.
Also, it's important that this solution it must, in the flexibility topic, be able to work both on premise and on the cloud. And we saw that we saw many tools, as I was saying before. We tried them in a lab environment first, and then on different clients. And we, at the end, we saw that DataStax is bringing a very good component for the high performance data store, also with the high level of flexibility in managing the data model, and also in managing the infrastructure needed, on-premise or this or that cloud platforms without major problems. It's also interesting because the competencies that are needed are more close to SQL, let's say, competencies that are often available at clients without requiring that much new competencies, which is a further plus, I believe. Basically, this is it, in terms of course, there is another big benefit, which is shifting the capacity usage from the backend system, which is often based on expensive technologies like the mainframe or something different, to a more mature, more distributed, more scalable, and also cheaper platform, which is this. And this is
all the good things.
Yeah, this is typical in some situations. This is the reason why I saw some clients adopting such a solution. The mainframe offloading topic. It's a keyword that is coming. And this is for sure an important point of view in insurance, also in banking. Consider, for example, in the banking space. It's calculated that close to 60% of the transactions are inquiry transactions, mainly for gathering amounts for money accounts or movements or positions of the different contracts. So inquiry, and if it's possible to move this capacity out of the mainframe, it brings a high level of value, both in terms of speed of accessing this data and in terms of cost, of course.